So welcome everybody. I am Lisa Herrick. I founded 31st Street in the winter of 2017. I'm going to start with just a couple of messages. You'll see in the bottom of your Zoom a chat button. You can use that chat to ask a question. We're going to be looking through that at the end of the program. We'll have time for some questions, not quite sure how many, but definitely we'll take a few. So feel free to just leave those in the chat as we go along. We are going to post the donation link in the chat throughout the program, so it will be right there where you can just move your finger over and click it. And that donation link will take you to an ActBlue site that funnels the donations directly to the campaign of Dr. Al Gross. 31st Street is not a PAC, we're just a bunch of people, we don't have a bank account, we don't touch money. So all donations go directly to the people that we're supporting or the organizations that we're supporting. So in this case, if you click a donation link, your money will go right to the campaign of Dr. Al Gross. So feel free to do that at any time. Erin Hamburger just put it in the chat just now. And we're also going to post in the chat throughout the program how much we've raised. We have raised, before we even got started, I think $45,000. So we are off to an amazing start. Our goal for tonight is at least $100,000. We really would like to get more than that. We'd like to actually get double that if we can, but tonight we really want to hit 100,000. And you will hear tonight exactly what the campaign is going to use your funds for. And it's kind of an amazing project. I think you'll find it both fascinating and moving and important. So you'll hear all about that in a bit. Before I turn the microphone over to some other folks in 31st Street who are going to tell you why Alaska and why Al Gross and what your money is going to be used for, I just want to tell you a brief story about 31st Street. Many of you are members of 31st Street, and we love you all, and we're very glad to have you. But many of you are not part of 31st Street, although you can become part of 31st Street after tonight if you want to, and we hope you will, because even though it's less than 100 days to election, there's plenty to do. So if you want to join us, you can do that. We'll tell you how to do that in a bit. It's very easy. So just a little bit about our history. I will try not to talk too long. In the winter of 2017, when Trump was elected, I, along with everybody, was fairly traumatized. And I'm a psychologist. I'd never done anything in politics before. And I certainly know well from being a psychologist that trauma has a lot to do with just feeling helpless. You know, helplessness is, you know, when you feel like the evil forces are coming at you and you have no control over them. And that is how I felt in January and February of 2017. And I found a Facebook link in the middle of the night posted by a brand new organization called Swing Left. And they said that they had one goal: to flip Republican districts to Democrats. And they thought we should just focus on that. Pick specific districts, throw your efforts at those districts, and turn them blue. So I had a house party in my house with Dre Samuelson, and we live at 31st Street in Washington, D.C., hence the name. And it was just a small group of people, and we really started with that goal in mind. Let's just figure out how to pick districts that are Republican and flip them to Democrats. And we developed a strategy with the help of Jim Shelton, whom you'll hear from in a moment. He is our master analyst strategist. And the strategy basically we came up with was to identify what Jim called sweet spots, which are districts and candidates who have a good chance of winning, but are not shoo-ins and are not impossible. And they need the money and they need the help. And that is based on data. We have always been data-driven. Jim analyzes polling, funding, voting history, and 31st Street always meets the candidate. And based on all of that data, we figure out who to support, and we shift our aim appropriately depending on how people are doing and what money they need. So I am not really feeling helpless anymore. I am feeling like I know what to do, and we're doing it. In 2017, 31st Street helped win 15 seats in the Virginia legislature. We just missed getting a majority in Virginia that year. In 2018, we shockingly raised over $1 million. We knocked on over 30,000 doors. We really miss knocking on doors, and we hope someday we will again. And we focused really heavily on 12 congressional seats across the country. And of the 12 sweet spots, 9 of those candidates won. And they are representing us now in the House of Representatives in Congress. And we're very proud of them, and we're very, very happy that we helped do that. In 2019, we went back to Virginia. And as many of you know, Virginia is now a blue state. The grassroots was incredible in 2019, and we helped, along with many other groups, to turn Virginia into a Democratic majority state. And thank goodness it is, because it's doing a lot of wonderful things, and it's not doing so many horrible things anymore. So 2020, here we are, finally. And the name of the game in 2020, we believe, is getting out low turnout voters. If we can get all the Democrats out there to vote, we will win. And 31st Street believes that if we get out low turnout voters who have been blocked and suppressed and alienated and discouraged from voting, if we can reach them, if we can get them to vote, we will win. We will win the presidency, we will flip North Carolina and Iowa blue, and we will win the Senate. And that's what we're about tonight, is winning the Senate. And we will be talking all about that in a minute. I read something recently that Americans have felt over the last few years like we are trapped in an endless car ride by a car driven by a drunk. And we have no idea when and how the pain will stop. So when I started 31st Street, it was really just an effort to grab the wheel. It was just an effort to feel less helpless. But we have now 1,100 members.
Amanda is on top of everything.
Hello. Please mute. We're now 1,100 members. And it's kind of an amazing experience to be sitting here and seeing almost 250 people tonight and feel like this has turned into just something I would never have imagined. I will close with something I also read recently, that Abraham Lincoln said the best way to predict the future is to choose it. And I chose it. And 31st Street is choosing it. Sorry. And you are choosing it by being here tonight. We are not helpless, and we don't have to be traumatized. We can take the wheel, and we can do all we can, and we can change the direction of our country. And tonight, I think we're going to do that by helping to elect Dr. Al Gross.